Well, I think we'll have to see, get some clarity and assuredness on the Georgia governor's race. But assuming that, and obviously Mr. Gillum conceded in Florida, so I think first of all on the health care front, there was a prospect for a lot of change with regard to sort of Medicaid opt-in on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, and I think we're going to see a lot less of that. With regard to drugs, the Democrats did fairly well, obviously, in winning 230 seats. Republicans had hoped to win at least 210 because that would give them a chance to come back in 2020. So, they've got a head of steam, but on the other hand, they've got a lot of moderates that will moderate them somewhat. But drug pricing is certainly going to be an issue, and what's really interesting there, that dynamic, is you can't count on the populist President Trump, to lean against a movement to constrain drug prices, particularly if it gains any kind of bipartisan traction in the Senate. So that's that front. And then I think on the energy front, as you mentioned, Joe, that's really a state issue. I think frankly we have to comb through the results in state of Washington, state of California first. But for the most part, the president's deregulatory energy agenda remains, and energy is the original leave us alone industry red stock group. So I think they did pretty well last night with the results in the Senate.
Whenever I try to think of how to phrase a question, though, we're still gridlocked. I mean, okay, so deficit spending. You got the big spenders in the House now in charge, theoretically, although people think Republicans are spending. It just depends on who you're talking to there. But I can't imagine there'll be any tax cuts at this point, even though the Senate would go for it, but the House is not going to go for it. What about just budget and omnibus bills and funding the government and everything else? There's going to be gridlock there, too, unless they work together.
Yeah, certainly a bit more suspenseful. I think the Democrats are believe it or not, once again, the more bond market friendly party. So to the extent that there's a lot of suspense about the Fed or angst about the Fed, that split government thing is not really that so bad unless we really get a confluence of events that really force the need for some austerity, and then it's going to become very difficult.